You're listening to Rooted in Revolution, a limited series about the stories that shaped a nation, told from the ground up. Along Virginia's rivers, roads, and red clay, power was built, challenged, and contested, often far from the battlefields we remember. These are the voices history tried to quiet, the moments that changed everything, the truths that still echo. Rooted in Revolution is written and produced by Samantha Griffin. Now, let us step back into a world where nothing was settled and everything was at stake. This episode is a historically grounded reconstruction inspired by real events, locations, and court practices of Revolutionary-era Virginia. Some characters and details have been dramatized, where records are incomplete. The James River remembers. Long before railroads cut through red clay, before brick towns rose from tobacco money, before Virginia ever called itself a state, this river carried secrets. By moonlight, its surface looks calm, glass-like, endless, but beneath the water, beneath the silt and the roots of sycamore and ash, the James has swallowed stories it has never given back. Tonight, we tell one of them, a death whispered about in taverns, a body found where the current bends, a crime that was never truly solved, because in revolutionary Virginia, justice depended on who you were. This is Murder on the James. The year is 1779. The American Revolution is raging, but here, in the interior of Virginia, the war feels distant. There are no cannons along the James, no marching armies. Instead, there are plantations, miles of rolling land stretching down to the riverbanks. Tobacco barns heavy with cured leaf, wharf landings carved into mud and stone, where hogsheads roll toward flatboats bound for Richmond and beyond. At night, lanterns flicker along the water, enslaved hands work late. Overseers keep watch, and somewhere along this stretch of river, between Lynch's Ferry and the wooded bends near Amherst County, a man does not make it home. He was not poor. He was not powerless. He was a landholder, known locally, a man who traveled alone along the river to settle debts, oversee shipments, and collect what he was owed. Witnesses later said he left a riverside tavern just after dusk, that he carried coin, that he intended to cross by boat rather than wait until morning. The ferryman saw him last.
I helped ready the boat earlier that day. The ropes were sound. I saw no struggle upon the bank.
A brief exchange, a nod, the sound of boots stepping into a skiff. Then, darkness. 3 days later, the river gave him back. His body surfaced downstream, caught in branches near the bank where the river narrows and darkens. His coat was still buttoned, his boots still on, but his skull crushed, not by current, not by rocks, by force. The coroner's report was brief, careful. Cause of death, violence, unknown. An older, enslaved man, called to observe, would later say quietly,
I saw the gentleman near sundown, sir. He stood by the landing and waited. He spoke to no one I could hear. He carried a lantern, but it was not lit.
Questions followed. Who would kill a man on the James? Was it Robbery? Coin was missing. Was it revenge? There had been disputes over landlines, tobacco weights, debts. Was it someone he knew? The enslaved population was questioned first.
He did not pass through the yard that night. I would have seen him. The dogs did not stir. The dogs always stirred.
Their words were written down. Their names were not. A field hand testified to a neighboring planter, a man of influence, a man whose land touched the river where the skiff would have passed. The two men had argued weeks earlier over ownership, over pride. No charges were filed, no trial held, because accusing a man in revolutionary Virginia required more than evidence. It required standing. The American Revolution promised liberty, equality, justice. But along the James River, power still ruled. Some men died with their names recorded in history. Others vanished into the water, their stories carried only by current and memory. This murder was never solved, but it was never forgotten, because rivers don't forget. They wait. Tonight's story was not about a single death, but about the world that allowed it to disappear. Along the banks of the James River, we saw how power shaped truth, how silence protected the influential, and how justice depended on who was allowed to speak and who was not. The body was found, questions were asked, but the answers were never pursued, because in revolutionary Virginia, some crimes were not meant to be solved, only endured. Next time on Rooted in Revolution, Patrick Henry, when the river learned the word liberty. Along the James River, a single voice turns resistance into resolve. Words move faster than armies. Ideas travel farther than cannon fire. And a colony begins to understand that independence will not be won quietly, because before Virginia fought for freedom, it heard it.